Fielder Austin Slater hit hard to left field. Peralta comes in. Keeps this thing scoreless for Kershaw. One veteran protecting another, and Clayton appreciates it on the mound so much that he lets his game face down. And
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the dub. They beat the Giants by a final score of 7-0 and improve to 95-59. And most importantly, they clinch a bye. They clinch one of the byes, so they will not be participating in that first round there. So they will face the Cubs possibly in that NLDS. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first and foremost, let me know how that internet is doing. I know that I was a little choppy. I don't think it was my internet, but you guys were complaining down below in the chat. So let me see. We got made it back from the game. Roll one up. We got shout out win. Grove was good. Slider cutter mix was working. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about tonight, because I thought it was a very encouraging start from Clayton Kershaw. He allowed just 2 base hits. He had 5 strikeouts. He walked 2 through 76 pitches, 46 for strikes. So he looked much better. He didn't go past 90 miles per hour tonight, but still with the kind of command that was on display, the way he used that curveball. Even we saw the Clayton Kershaw tonight when he got Haniger there in the second inning. We're going to talk about his start. We're going to looking good. Okay, so we're back. We're feeling good. So I do not know what that is. I haven't had one issue with my internet or anything all season long, but tonight is going to be very interesting, because we're going to talk about Clayton Kershaw and his future with the Dodgers beyond this season. It felt like there was a vibe around Dodger Stadium. It felt like there was a vibe in the Ravine that this was Clayton Kershaw's final regular season start. And after the game, he told reporters that he's not really ready to talk about that, because I don't think he really knows. I don't think Clayton Kershaw knows right now, but I will say that, look, I have heard from people, from my sources, that if the season a couple weeks ago, that if he did not make very much progress, that there's a better than 50% chance that this was going to be his final season in Major League Baseball. But I think that's where he sits right now, and I think I've said this for a long time. You guys know this, that you always have to give Clayton Kershaw his roses every single time he toes the slab. Every time he's out there, it is like they said during the broadcast, Clayton Kershaw Appreciation Day. This is someone who has been an iconic member of this franchise. He's a Mount Rushmore player. Him and Sandy Koufax, to me, those are the two. They're sitting at their own lunch table. I think those two, Sandy Koufax, and I think you throw Fernando Valenzuela in there as well, Don Drysdale, right? All the legends, but I think Clayton Kershaw and Sandy Koufax, those are the top two. But we have a lot to talk about tonight, because I think the first big takeaway tonight was that Clayton Kershaw is going to be able to contribute for the Dodgers in the postseason. And he said before his last start that he wanted to see if he could still do it, if he could still go out there and be effective. And before the game, Dave talked about it, that, look, there was a couple years ago where he was out there throwing 82, and he was still able to be effective because of how competitive he is and his ability to hit his spots. And that is the key for Clayton Kershaw. As long as he's hitting his spots, he's keeping the ball down, the slider, the tunneling with that pitch is going to allow him to be effective out there. He also threw one changeup tonight. Also, we're going to talk about Kershaw a little bit, but let me know down below, first things first, do you think that Clayton Kershaw is going to retire? Do you think that was it for Kershaw? Let me know. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, you're missing out on some big giveaways. We just gave away an authentic Mookie Betts jersey, $350 value, and we have tons of giveaways coming up, autographs and authentic jerseys. I'm only getting the best stuff for you guys, because you guys are the best fans in the game. So definitely be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. If you really want to support the channel, comment, hit that like button. This is your show. I'm just hosting it, the #1 Dodgers post-game show here on YouTube. We got the DMAC Ron Fig. He won't retire. He wants a chance to pitch at home. That's from me, Rojo. I disagree with you on that, because I can tell you from firsthand knowledge that the Texas Rangers did offer him a ton of money to finish his career in Texas, and he did not take it. I don't think you're ever going to see Clayton Kershaw wear another team's uniform, because it's not about chasing a ring. If that was the case, the Dodgers, they give him the best opportunity to do just that. Now, I do think that it is very interesting to ponder the idea of maybe him starting in the summertime, maybe pulling a full-blown Roger Clemens and waiting until the kids are out for their summer break and starting at Dodger Stadium and getting in his groove there in midsummer. That way, he'll still have something left in the tank when you enter the postseason. I thought about it, and I thought about, wait a minute, this is Clayton Kershaw. I just don't think that he would do that. I think he has too much pride. I don't think he wants to be someone that gets special privileges, and I just think that if he's going to be all in, it's going to be all or nothing. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He's more of a Kobe Bryant. He wants to go out guns a-blazing. He wants to go out to scoring 60 points against the Utah Jazz, right? He doesn't want to be a Vince Carter. Guys, just hold on until, hey, it kind of, I mean, look at the Oral Hershiser. He was someone who came back with the Dodgers later in his career and didn't perform well. I don't think we're going to see that with D-Mac. Can you do a shoey for Kershaw's sake? Yeah, if you guys want this is our second studio, so I don't bring I got to get some, basically I just have water. So, a water shoey probably not that interesting. So I promise you, reminded me again, I will do a shoey on Monday's show. I promise you on that. Blake Atkinson, congratulations, the Dodgers. Great win from Auckland, New Zealand. We got Giants are taking down the Dodgers tomorrow. That's from M. Billy. Yeah, okay, who cares? Yeah, great. You took him down yesterday. Whoa, hey, great job. I mean, the Dodgers have their sights on bigger and better things. And tonight, really, like I said, one of the big takeaways is that they clinched. They clinched a bye there in that division. I think that was a formality. We know that, but still, I think that was very important to see that. But let me know down below. I'm going to hold you to it. D-Max from Diane Struder. D-Mac is the best. Thanks, Joey. Yeah, me, Rojo. What's up, me, Rojo? Giant Sug from Jason Diamond. Yeah, I mean, look. Oh, they're pumpkins, right? They're the pumpkins. They're orange and black. We know what SF stands for. It stands for season finished, okay? And we also know that orange and black, that's Halloween. Well, we also know that Oracle Park is going to turn into a Spirit Halloween Superstore very soon here. So I'm not worried about the Giants, okay? Braves look tough. We need to bring up Skits McGurrigan. We got D-Mac Jr. Hey, D-Mac Jr. Hey, man. I don't know about that. By the way, I'm looking for that Dodgers Nation comment of the game. And by the way, you are home with Dodgers Nation and Jim Beam, so please drink responsibly and welcome to the show if you're just joining us. Also, I'm looking for that comment of the game, and when I see one of those, you're going to see one of these. Jason Diamond says SF season failure. Yeah, let me know down below. What up, me, Rojo? Yeah, let me know down below in the comment section. What do you think that SF stands for? Bo Cruz, I was very pessimistic about how our offseason went before the season, but this group has exceeded my expectations. I have full trust in our front office now. Friedman rarely misses. Yeah, you bring up a great point, Bo Cruz, is that, yeah, I think that you really have to give a lot of trust in this organization after the year they've had. They've proven at this point that, one, they understand how to build a roster that can win in the regular season, and you do that with depth. You do that with quality signings, the David Peraltas, the Jason Haywards. You do that with development, James Outman, all these rookies, 9 rookie debuts this year, right? So you got to trust the pipeline, okay? The Padres, you got Juan Soto, you got Fernando Tatis, you've got Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts, but do you have that pipeline, right? Do you have guys coming up that are going to contribute? The Bobby Millers, the Emmett Sheehan's. Gavin Stone thought he looked really promising yesterday. Some nice swing and miss. Yes, you didn't like the home runs, but he's making progress. How about tonight? You got Michael Grove, Ryan Pepio. I mean, Michael Busch had a game-winning hit this year. So really have to trust this direction of this franchise because of the depth within the organization, their ability to make smart, sensible signings, and the fact that you're able to create and generate your own talent, right? You don't have to outsource. They don't have to go out to eat and pay all these prices for these fancy restaurants, right? Because they got the chef, they got the recipe, they can cook from home, and it's going to be a delicious meal. We've seen that with this organization. But D-Mac, my wife, says, hi, what up, Hugo Hernandez? Tell your wife I said, what's going on, and thanks for rocking with us here. And I'm also looking for that Dodgers dog of the game. Who is your Dodgers dog of the game? Let me know down below. And if I see one of these,
Dodger dog of the game.
Let's go. Also, I'm looking for any burns, any fire takes. You're going to see one of these.
Fire take.
A hot take. Give me your hottest take, and it will be red. John Blaze, Strider's better than Kershaw this year? That's really not that hot of a take or a very interesting conversation at all. I mean, that's saying, what, is water wet? Okay. you got a guy throwing 88 miles per hour, right? But does Strider have Kershaw's heart? I think Clayton Kershaw is someone that he just digs deep and he finds a way to compete. He finds a way to get the job done. I want to see him pull a Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope there in the first round. Find a way to be effective. So JD was the dog. So you got JD Martinez as your Dodger dog of the game. That's from Todd K. It's your Dodger dog of the game. Roy Estrada agrees. JD Dodger dog. We got IV JD Dodger dog of the game, fouls the ball off his leg, then brings in 2 with a double in the next pitch. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. And we're going to talk about that in more detail in a little bit, but I just want to point out something that JD Martinez, if you look at his numbers after tonight, I mean, 31 home runs, 98 RBIs, a 136 weighted runs created plus. So he's 36% above league average when it comes to generating runs, right? Those are great numbers. Those are numbers that if he hadn't missed so much time, if you have those numbers spread throughout a full season, he's someone that could be in the MVP conversation. You're talking about someone who would have hit over 40 home runs, would have hit well over 100 RBIs. The fact that he's having the year he's having, he's been outstanding for the Dodgers. I think that he's put himself in a position to, one, get himself a nice bag, get himself a contract after this year. He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal. Tonight, JD Martinez goes 2 for 4, had 3 ribbies, his 31st home run, had that double layer in the game. We're going to talk about that in depth when we break down the game in a second here. But all in all, he's been productive. He's been a great fit with this team. I've seen him in that clubhouse, just really fits in with the guys. And I want to say that you got to give Mookie Betts a lot of credit. Now it feels, after Acuna Jr., 40 home runs, we know the success he's had. We know how enamored all the voters are with the stolen bases. But I just want to point out that without Mookie Betts on the Dodgers, yeah, you have Robert Van Scoyoc, and yes, that's his hitting coach, and there's somewhat of a chance that he ends up in L.A., but I think Mookie Betts sealed the deal. I think you got to give GM Mookie Betts a lot of credit for JD Martinez signing a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Dodgers, and I can tell you there were deals out there for JD Martinez that were multi-year offers. He could have signed a 2- or 3-year contract. He could have gotten a deal like Justin Turner got with the Boston Red Sox. Instead, he signed with the Dodgers, wanted to play for another historic franchise. That's what he told me during spring training. He also wanted to get his career back on track and I think get himself back. And it's not like it wasn't really off track by a lot. Just by his standards, his power numbers were down, but he still was well above average, had a 119 weighted runs created plus. But last year with Boston, 16 home runs and 596 plate appearances. This year, you're talking about someone for 50, and he has 31 home runs. So the power numbers have just shot back up to his career averages, and he's been fantastic. And a couple points on JD Martinez. One, I think at this point, with the second half that Will Smith's had, and yes, Will Smith, you're starting to see the hard contact. You're starting to see him recover from the injury that he had, right? The oblique and, of course, his ribs, and that was impacting his swing. And yesterday he went 1 for 4, had a single. And then on Thursday, he went 1 for 4, had a triple. Then on Tuesday, his last home run, though, Will Smith, was on the 12th against San Diego, right? So at this point, even though Will Smith is someone that we know when he's right, he should absolutely be towards the top of the lineup. But I think at this point, with the way that JD Martinez is hitting down the stretch, with his postseason track record, a 987 postseason OPS. On the flip side, yes, Will Smith's had a lot of clutch moments. Yes, he had the 5-hit game for his Dodgers to do that in the postseason. Yes, he had the 3-run shot that really sprung the Dodgers into a comeback that series. They could have lost that series if it weren't for Will Smith being better than their Will Smith with that 3-run shot down 3-1 in Game 5 of the 2020 NLCS. But I think at this point of the season, I want to see JD Martinez in that 3-hole. I do. I think JD Martinez in that 3-hole. And my lineup against righties, right now, I got Mookie, Freddie, JD in the 3-hole, Max Muncy in the 4-hole. I think Max Muncy stays right there at the cleanup spot. And then you got Will Smith 5th. And then I'm a little open to mixing this up, but Hayward, Peralta, Outman, Rojas, something, a combination of those 4. But I think JD Martinez there in the 3-hole makes a ton of sense. And that's something that I feel very strongly about. And you saw it in tonight's game. JD Martinez had his fingerprints all over it once again. You saw, like someone mentioned a few seconds ago, the double there in the third inning, but bottom of the second inning, JD Martinez, he crushed a bomb for his 31st home run of the year. And that's something that's going to play up. The guy that can just leave the yard at will, that someone that's just continuing to have success. We know Freddie Freeman's been fantastic. Freddie goes 2 for 5, had his 57 double this year. So the top of the lineup right there for the Dodgers, I think I need some trusted hitters. I need some veteran hitters that I think are going to come through, and I think that JD Martinez is primed and ready to have himself a massive October, and you saw that today. And I think there's no doubt about it that you got to have him there in that 3-hole. And you look at the bottom of the second, I mean, that put the Dodgers up 1-0, and then you jump to the bottom of the third inning with JD Martinez, and in that inning, Barnes, he struck out, Betts drew a 1-out walk, Freeman struck out swinging, and then 2 outs, Max Muncy, he singles to left, and the next batter, JD Martinez, a 1-2 count, he doubles to right, that scores Muncy and Betts to make it 3-0 Dodgers. So that put the Dodgers well on top there, 3-0 against that Giants team, and you're feeling really good about it. So what are your guys' thoughts on JD Martinez batting in the 3-hole? Here we go. We got a good lineup, but please rest D-Mac Jr. every now and then. That's from Mr. Marty Mart over there. That's good times. Yeah, D-Mac, I thought I put him to sleep, man. He was supposed to be in bed. I rocked him, and I read him a little lullaby. Sang him, I love L.A. I love L.A. Yeah, here we go. Who you guys want to see there? Do you think that JD Martinez should be batting ahead of Will Smith? What are your thoughts on Will Smith really towards the second half of the season? Because Will Smith is someone that in the postseason, it's been mixed results. I mean, he's had some issues, and we know that you're seeing them attack Smitty with fastballs up and away. And this month, in the month of September, Smith is hitting 197, OPSing 636. In August, he hit 255, OPS 715. In July, he hit 269, OPS 726. So he hasn't OPS above 800 since June. And I think there's a lot of different reasons. But one, I think you're starting to see they're attacking him. We know that he's someone that doesn't expand the zone. He's a great hitter. You know, if you hit him inner half, it's a breaking ball. He's going to get his hands in. He's going to use that short, compact stroke, and he's going to be able to have success. But I think Will Smith is someone that you really want to keep your eyes on here down the stretch. But we got give me your top 4 in the order that you want to see against righties. Give me your top 4 in the order. We got Kersh, Grove, okay. The Bang Geek 014, that Will Smith doesn't need the responsibility of being in the heart of the lineup anymore. Put him elsewhere and he'll be fine. Yeah, I think his short compact stroke is something that's going to play up in the postseason, but that definitely is a big takeaway tonight. JD Martinez batting third, and he's someone, like I said, I mean, got the Dodgers on the board, that his 31st home run. But yes, talk a little more about Clayton Kershaw on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm assuming you guys have him as your Game 2 starter. Is there anyone that wants Clayton Kershaw to be your starter in Game 1? I think it's pretty obvious at this point that it makes the most sense to have Kersh there in Game 2. But on a scale of 1 to 10, what would your confidence level be with Clayton Kershaw there in the NLDS? Because kind of diving in. By the way, congratulations to Kersh. He now stands alone in second place in Dodgers franchise history with 210 wins, passing Don Drysdale. And like I said, the fastball did not get past 89 miles per hour, so the velocity was still down through those first 2 innings, but he was very effective with that slider. And I think that's, to me, the key to his success. I mean, you saw top of the first, he gets Slater, 3-2 count. The slider had grape to it. It was sharp. And then 1-2 count. JD Davis, he grounds to Muncy. Top of the second inning, 1 out, 2-2. You saw that beautiful Clayton Kershaw on the outside corner, Haniger, and then 1-2 to Luciano, slider down the zone. So you saw that bite on the slider. He definitely had the feel for it. And then top of the third inning, he had a run on first, and then You had a little Bailey had the little double there, and Max Muncy couldn't make the backhand play. That to me is very concerning. We got 7.8 from Ortega over there. That's your confidence level for Clayton Kershaw in the postseason. JV Tella says Will is an outstanding catcher, but not an ideal number 3 hitter. Amazing number 5 or number 6 hitter. Yeah, I think that we're all in agreement there. That I think if you move Will Smith down the order, you take some of the pressure off of him, you allow him to get comfortable, then it's to me, it's lengthening the lineup, right? I think you see Will Smith have success in the 3-hole throughout his career. You've seen him have some success at the cleanup spot. I think moving him down where his swing's at right now, it's going to allow him to be in a better position. Because, look, at some point, you're going to have to need veteran hitters step up. And I think when it comes to the trust level, you know what you're going to get from Mookie. You know what you're going to get from Freddie Freeman. And Mookie is someone that was really struggling in the month of September as far as the power numbers go, right? You didn't see tons of extra base hits. I think heading into today, he had 3 extra base hits in September. But tonight, it was a much better night for Mookie Betts. Yeah, in September, Mookie, heading into today, hitting .220 with a .683 OPS, but it was a much better day at the park for Mookie Betts, who finished the night going 2 for 3, had 2 RBI, 2 walks, so he reached base 4 times, had a double there in the second. And so, yeah, I mean, you're really feeling good about the fact that he's starting to find his stroke, because you need Mookie Betts to really have a monster postseason, because he was hitting the ball hard against the Padres, but didn't get a ton of results. And I think this time around, he's ready to show the world that he's still an elite hitter. He's still someone who probably should win the MVP award if it weren't for stolen bases and kind of a slower finish for Mookie Betts. But, yeah, I was definitely very encouraged by what I saw from Mookie Betts. I mean, you saw top of the third, that walk with 1 out, that led to the Martinez double. So, look, when Mookie gets on, this team scores. I mean, bottom of the 5th inning, Betts, he drew a walk after that Austin Barnes infield single that they overturned. I mean, what a terrible call there. And then Freeman, he was able to double to right. That made it 4-0 Dodgers. Then Muncy on a 0-2 pitch, he singled to center. Great 2-strike approach there by Max Muncy. Definitely want to point that out. Not trying to do too much. Every time you see him using all the fields, that's how you know he's locked in and he's really seen the ball well. And mechanically, he's sitting right. I was talking to Max Muncy after the game a couple days ago, and this is someone who is absolutely locked in right now. Max Muncy is focused as he could possibly be. He wants to have a big postseason. There's still a really bad taste in his mouth and the rest of this Dodgers team about what happened last year in the postseason. I think there's a very focused group, and Max Muncy, I think, really exemplifies that. And I think what illustrates it is the little adjustments he makes along the way, right? Anything he needs to do to have more success at the plate. I talked to Dave Roberts about Muncy a few days ago, and he talks about, yeah, the slug's always going to be there, but it's the other base hits, the singles on sliders, and his ability to just hit everything when he's locked in. So, yeah, Max Muncy, I'm telling you, Max Muncy, stock up. He's someone, the defense, we understand it's definitely limited at times, but offensively, they're going to need him. But here we got Padres loss. We got Thanky. Padres will not leap over the Giants. We got a super chat from Eddie Reels, says Dodgers clinch a first-round bye. That's our Hornitos comment of the game from Eddie Reels over on YouTube. Appreciate you. $5. That's going right to the Otani Fund and some carne asada fries. Mike M says Mookie soon have the most leadoff home runs and RBIs in MLB history. Should be worth the MVP. 3 position players too. Yeah, I mean, I've talked ad nauseum about making the case for Marcus Lynn Betts. I think you do have to give Ronald Acuna Jr., Acuna Matata, what a wonderful season, because he finished strong and he hit that 40 home run mark too. Weighted runs created plus, they're right there. So I think if Mookie had finished the season really, really strong, I think that he would have probably won this award, because I think if you look at the overall WAR numbers, they would have supported his case. And he's going to get a little bit of an uptick because of the position he plays, as far as playing some second, playing some shortstop. It's going to help his WAR numbers. But yeah, give Mookie a lot of credit, man. He's had a fantastic year. And you mentioned those RBIs. That something that really is historic. I mean, Mookie Betts, 105 RBIs. That's the most in a single season by a major league leadoff hitter. Okay, so give Mookie all the credit in the world, man. This is someone who's been the face of the franchise. He's carried that torch, and I think that he's someone that is going to have success. Last year, we can't have a Mookie that hits 269 in the postseason, okay? That Mookie is not going to get this team to the promised land. We need a Mookie that's hitting closer to 300, right? A Mookie that's hitting doubles and home runs. Last year in the postseason, like I said, he was hitting the ball hard, not seeing the results, and I think that he has a lot into this postseason, because if Mookie doesn't play well in this postseason, you saw that the 2021 NLCS against the Braves did not perform well, look overmatched at times at the plate, to be frank, and then you saw last season wasn't able to come through in certain spots, but still, I think it's going to be a defining postseason for Marcus Lindbetz. BC, I thought Mookie hit 222 last postseason. Maybe I'm thinking of 2021. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Fire take. That's a fire take. Do. What the? Yeah. I don't know. But here we go. It's back into, I'll read the best a little bit, but back into the action. And Mookie would be very happy with that, Marty. Acuna equals MVP. Mookie equals third ring. Yeah, Mr. Marty Martin. That, to me, is the most important thing. But, yeah, so Kersh, like I said, command was better. Velocity was a little higher. And is this going to be his last game as a Dodger in the regular season at home? I would say, if I had to bet on it right now, based on what I've heard from people in the know, I would say that I probably would say it's a coin flip. I really do. I think it's based on how he's feeling at the end of the season, but I also know that he's going to empty the tank and do whatever he can to help this team this year. Now, how about Joe Kelly tonight? I think Joe Kelly, not a lot of people are going to talk about this. I think Joe Kelly was pretty fantastic, and he's someone that, yes, he has a velocity, but I think what I was most impressed with from Joe Kelly tonight was the way he was using different speeds, right? You saw when he struck out Estrada slider, bottom of the zone, 89 miles per hour. The Davis, when he lined out, that was a slider, bottom of the zone. Flores struck him out swinging, changeup, bottom of the zone. So you saw him start that at bat to Flores with a 99 mile per hour changeup fastball in the corner, and then drop that down to a 90 mile per hour changeup. So I was impressed with Joe Kelly. I give Mariachi Joe an A for tonight. Let me know what you thought about Joe Kelly's outing. And do you think he's someone that you can bet on in the postseason? I see some doubters about Joe Kelly. People are claiming, okay, he's someone you can't rely on in the postseason. I think he's got the big boy stuff that you need. He's not afraid of anyone. He won't back down. Just ask Scott Van Slyke. Okay, I mean, just ask Fernando Tatis Jr. Just ask Carlos Correa. I think that his team feeds off his energy and his competitive fire, but we got CCM for short. Stone has dropped like a rock. That's a fire take. I'd say to finish him. I love Gavin Stone, too. D-Mac, where is hurt? Thought he might be the secret weapon in the postseason, Mike M. Yeah, I mean, I think really at this point, it does feel like he is lower on the depth chart. Let's just put it that way. And barring an injury, I guess you probably wouldn't anticipate. I think that Dave Roberts kind of made us feel like, or Dave Roberts and Andrew Friedman, especially after the Dodgers clinched the division, they made it seem like, okay, we're going to go with the best arms, have the best stuff that's going to play up. And if that's the case, I think Kyle Hurt's someone that deserves an opportunity. You're talking about someone, though, who's pitching an 11-2 game, right? 2 innings through 24 pitches. Is that enough? Stuff-wise, he flashed, but that's a different animal to throw him into the fire when you got some other guys that have been there and they've got some talent. But what up, Michael Negretti? How you doing, my man? We got Joe Kelly, thumbs up. Mariachi Joe is a straight-up gunfighter. Who thinks he won't be great? There's some people out there that are down Joe Kelly out there on the Twitterverse, on the X. But let's talk about Michael Grove. I think the fourth thing you need to know from tonight. So the first thing you need to know, Clayton Kershaw, he looked a lot better. Very encouraging start. Command on the slider. Command on the fastball for the most part. By the way, the play of the game, absolutely the play of the game, was David Peralta. David Peralta's sliding catch, that diving catch there, I thought that was fantastic because, I mean, first of all, top of the fifth, Luciano leadoff double, and then that inning, Kersh definitely got a gift. I don't know if it was a going away gift from the umpire because they thought it was going to be his final game, but yeah, I mean, if you saw in the top of the 5th inning, so Luciano, he doubled to right. On that pitch, he left the slider up out over the plate, and Luciano put a good swing on it. And he walks Matos, and that bat, he's missing with the curveball up in the zone, arm side missing with the slider down the zone. Then he struck out Fitzgerald with the slider on the inside corner, and then Bailey grounded out to third. Matos to second, Luciano to third, and then what a terrible play there. A terrible call by the umps, because that should have been a double play. Max Muncy clearly was going to tag him, and Luciano clearly ran out of that baseline, ran out of the base pass. His foot was on the grass, okay? He was practically sitting behind home plate in the Dodgers clubhouse, okay? In the Dodgers, the expensive seats right there, okay? And then following that, Slater, he lined to left, and that was the runners on first and second and 2 outs. So, yeah, Kersh ends up going scoreless. But how about this play here by David Peralta, the Dodgers play of the game? First and second,
Slater.
2 outs,
Hit hard
1
to left
count.
field. Peralta comes
nice
in.
catch there by David Peralta. And I know you guys
Keeps
see that gold
this
on his
thing
glove.
scoreless for Kershaw.
So 5 scores for Kershaw after that.
One veteran protecting another,
Great read
and
on
Clayton appreciates it on the mound.
Very impressed with David Peralta. He's a great clubhouse guy. I'm telling you, I've said it all year. I'm going to say it again. I think he's someone that's got a big hit in the postseason. Got to show some love to Grove. He was on fire tonight from Devil Charger. So that's another thing you need to know. So Michael Grove was very impressive tonight. Michael Grove has the kind of stuff that you want in the postseason. Michael Grove is someone that said, hey, I can do this too, right? And I think it was a big opportunity for him tonight, and I think he made the most of it. He comes in, he gets Peter. I think the efficiency, you want to see him kind of improve on the efficiency for sure. There were some deeper counts in some of those at-bats, but I think for the most part, he was really, really nice. I think that he's someone who deserves consideration as a bullpen piece. So Peterson, he gets a foul to first. Luciano, he struck him out looking. Slider up in the zone. Great shape to it. I love that at-bat there. He's changing speeds. You saw the four-seam fastball, the velo, a little lower during certain stretches, through a 985 mile-per-hour fastball, and he gets Matos to ground to third. He comes back there in the 8th inning, strikes out Yastrzemski on the 11th pitch of the bat, gets him to chase a slider at the bottom of the zone, gets Bailey to fly to center, and he walks Conforto during that at-bat, just kind of not hitting with that cutter, which is going to be a big pitch for him. You definitely need him to hit that cutter against lefties. And he gets Estrada swinging on 3 pitches, nasty slider at the bottom of the zone. So Michael Grove, he's showing up to the party late, but he's showing up with trying to be the life of that party, right? He's showing up saying, okay, I got some stuff. And, man, I mean, you can guarantee me that 98 mile-per-hour fastball, curveball, 12-6, slider, cutter, someone who's improving his pitch mix. I think he's going to have a very compelling case. Now, will they leave Alex Vesioff? I mean, will they go with the traditional, okay, we have to have multiple lefties? That's going to kind of be the big question. I think that Gavin Stone, the home runs are too much of an issue. He's still a rookie. I think he's someone who, the previous night, he didn't take advantage of his opportunity, right? He did look good. I mean, he still has upside and potential, but as far as trust factor goes, I think with Michael Grove having a little more skin in the game, I think they go with the Grover in that situation. Then you talk about the rest of this team and the rest of this bullpen. I mean, who's on the bubble. I think Grove is someone who could definitely turn some heads, but the Grove still has a nasty curve too. How about Ferguson opening yesterday and closing the game today? Yeah, Caleb Ferguson is someone who I've heard they're very confident in as someone that can go in there as a lefty to open the game for you, and that is going to be a big opportunity for him, because tonight you saw he was really solid in his role too. He knows, all these guys know what's at stake, and that's I think what makes it so interesting, is that all these guys know what they're fighting for. That if you're on the bubble, there's a couple things in play. I mean, yes, there's your history, but I think this year more than ever, it's how do you look right now? How good is your stuff at this stage of the season? They're not looking at your numbers back in April and May. They're not looking at Yency Almonte's year last year. No, they're focused on the fact he has an ERA north of 5 this year and has been up and down. I mean, he was pretty solid before he went down, but for the most part, I think that's kind of what they're really considering. And yeah, you talk about Ferguson there in the 9th inning. he was efficient. I mean, Davis, had the 6 at bat to Davis, but he ends up going out there, pitched 1 inning, had the 1 strikeout, allowed no hits, and combined Joe Kelly, Michael Grove, and Caleb Ferguson, they would combine to go 4 scoreless, have 6 punch-outs, didn't serve up a hit. So only 2 hits tonight for that Giants team. And, yeah, this Dodgers team, they definitely took care of business. They did what they needed to do. I think you saw some pretty clutch at-bats as well, even later in the game. They were able to add more runs there in the bottom of the 8th inning for some insurance that they probably didn't even need, considering how the Giants offense looked tonight. But in the 8th inning there, they were able to add some more runs. Peralta, leadoff double to right. That was great 2-strike hitting there. Changeup, bottom of the zone. Hayward struck out swinging. Mookie Betts, he draws a 5, or Austin Barnes, he draws a 5-pitch walk to turn the lineup over to Marcus Lynn Betts. And in second pitch of the at-bat, he doubled to center to give the Dodgers a 7-0 lead. So that is a really, really big development. Mookie Betts starting to slug again, starting to hit the ball hard. You need him to be at his best when his best is needed, and that is in October. So I'm feeling good about this team. I'm definitely feeling good about this team. I think you're seeing the way that Kershaw pitched tonight. It's clear that you're going to see him in some sort of piggyback situation. I'm interested in seeing him in the same game as an Emmett Sheehan, particularly because of the contrasting styles. I definitely want to see that. And I think that, look, tonight it's pretty clear we know, that this team's going to be rolling with Bobby Miller in Game 1 and Kershaw in Game 2. Is there a chance Kershaw goes in Game 1? I hope not. I really don't. I really think that you really want to go Bobby Miller in Game 1, and then the second game, you really want to just end that series as quickly as you can, because in the first series, the NLDS, that is where the depth doesn't help you as much because it's a shorter series. You want to get to that NLCS, and that's where the depth shows, and that's where the Dodgers have an advantage over most teams. But stop back in the comment section here. Muncy's slander will not be tolerated. We got Devil Charger. I trust Yarbrough more than Fergie. Yeah, look, Ryan Yarbrough is someone who offers a different skill set, though, right? Ryan Yarbrough is someone that can be a multi-inning reliever. He's someone that can miss barrels. They're different pitchers, right? Ferguson, when he's right, you're talking about 95, 96, top of the zone. Yarbrough, he's always going to be right there as far as the lowest velocity pitchers in Major League Baseball. But it's the way he commands it. It's the way he can keep hitters off balance by making hitters feel uncomfortable. So that's definitely what you want. That's something that you guys really need to know about this postseason roster too, is there are contrasting styles in that bullpen, and that's how you keep opposing lineups off balance. If you have everyone going out there throwing 98 miles per hour, hitters are going to get used to that. Hitters are going to start to jump on that and sit on that. But if you got different guys who can throw a variety of different pitches, that's going to keep hitters off balance. So having a Ryan Yarbrough, someone that's going to be throwing 84 bottom of the zone, right? Someone that is going to be mixing it up. And then you got the young hurlers out there that are throwing gas, right? The Bobby Millers of the world. Emmett Sheehan, who, yeah, is not throwing 100, but it's the movement, right? It's the horizontal break. It's the ride. It's the run. So I'm very excited about the possibility of this bullpen because you got the younger guys throwing gas, the young guys with field. You got the older guys that have experience that can hit their spots, that they still are very effective, right? So this team, I'm telling you, it's a quiet confidence in that clubhouse right now. I think they're itching to get this postseason started. And let's not forget that you got a healthy Max Muncy, right? You got a healthy Chris Taylor. You got a peak Freddie Freeman, a peak Mookie Betts, a JD Martinez, who you switch out JD Martinez with Justin Turner last year in the NLDS. I think they win that series and possibly go on to win the World Series. Let's be honest here, okay? So it's little things like that. It's all about the details. Do you trust Phillips or Kelly more? Look, I think Evan Phillips, you've seen some hard contact lately, is giving up a little more hits than we've seen in recent memory. But he's someone that, look, low leverage situations in recent memory, he's been dominant, and that's what you want to see. You do want to see swing and miss. You do definitely want to see him get soft contact and break bats a la a Mariano Rivera with that cutter, use that sweeper. I think trust-wise, at the moment, look, I think the higher upside, Joe Kelly on his best day is insane. Like, his pitching talent, his arm talent is really second to none, if we're being quite honest. But Evan Phillips, I think that he's assimilated well to that closer's role. I think he's bought into it. I think that there's trust level there. But I do think that, yeah, I would say F. Phillips over Joe Kelly. Diane Schroeder, $10. Wow, I appreciate that, Diane Schroeder. You get a comment of the game for that. Where do you think Lance Lynn fits in the lineup? I think that Lance Lynn 100% should be on that NLDS lineup because he's someone that you, at some point, yes, you want to mix and match. You want to piece together a start and have piggybacks and this and that, play the bullpen game. But let's not forget that, yes, it's great to have variety. And yes, we've seen over the last decade, even before that, the average start. I mean, 2021, the average start in the postseason was less than 4 innings per start. Thankfully, last year, that number went up north of 5, and it was the highest it's been in quite some time. But the point I'm trying to make is that you're not seeing starters go 6 and 7 innings like we saw decades ago in the postseason. The days of Fernando Valenzuela throwing 147 pitches are over. But on the same token, if you can hit and get Lance Lynn to give you 5 innings of 3-run ball and have your offense score 5 or 6 runs, right? Which, hey, that's easier said than done against postseason level pitching. But still, having a starter with the ability to put together 5 or 6 innings and not be afraid of the moment, not rattle when the lights get bright. I mean, I think the thing with Lance Lynn, yeah, he might give up a couple home runs, but he's going to be dialed in. I mean, this is someone who's had an experience of pitching in the postseason. This is someone who has been an all-star, who's finished in the top 3 in Cy Young voting. Lance Lynn is going to wake up that day whenever he gets the ball, and he's going to want to bring it. And I think for him, I think you saw the efficiency go back a little bit in his last start against Detroit. He goes 5 innings, gives up 6 hits, had 6 strikeouts. So the strikeout numbers were up again for him, at least closer to where he was earlier when he first started with the Dodgers. Because, look, it's kind of what have you done for me lately? But still, I mean, he did have a 3.57 ERA in August for the Dodgers. So, I mean, you saw 7 innings against the A's, 6 against the Padres, 5 against the Rockies, 7 against the Brewers, 6 against the Red Sox, 4 1/3 against Atlanta. And Atlanta, that was the meltdown one. That's the one that scares you because that's a team you're going to be playing, right? That's a team you could be playing in the postseason. I won't say they will guaranteed because you never know, but that's the type of offenses that you face. And in that game, if you remember against the Braves, the walks were killer. I mean, he walked Lopez. He gave that home run, the grand slam there to Ron Acuna Jr. on that pitch. It was a 4-seam fastball up in the zone, caught much of the plate. So, yeah, I do think that you're going to see him, and I think you're going to see him on one of those road starts, possibly game 4, right? I think that's something that they could go with, or you could see him in a piggyback role because you really don't need 4 starters in a NLDS series. But I think, yeah, there you could say in a shorter series, maybe you go with a lot of bullpen guys. But Lance Lynn is someone where, hey, if you're counting 27 outs, having a guy can go 4 or 5 innings at the very minimum is something that does provide value. But we got to extend Roberts. I think Colton Wong will be left out the postseason roster. Chico Dopeness. I think as of right now, yes. I think Colton Wong is someone who has improved a lot since joining the Dodgers, and they did a lot to fix his swing, and he's talked about that, how he's looking a lot better in the plate. If the Dodgers are down 6-0 in the game, we know he can go up there and end a scoreless game. He can prevent the shutout. By the way, Dodgers got their 15th shutout of the year tonight, but yeah, I don't see a Colton Wong making it, barring some type of injury. But I like this. This is a comment of the game here from Roy Estrada. Sign Gratterall's mother, DFA Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith, his baseball takes. That's the thing. I mean, with national media on a lot of this stuff, it's like, one, they don't know what they're talking about. They haven't read the articles. They haven't done the research. They haven't watched the games. They're just talking head. So it's like, why should we care? I mean, seriously, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to follow my teams, I watch the podcast, the YouTube channels, and I can tell 10 seconds in if they've watched these games that they're talking about. And I think that Stephen A. Smith, it's just, and I'm not a hater of Stephen A. Smith. I'm really not. I think he's entertaining. But as far as information goes and stuff like that, especially when it comes to baseball, it's a just straight up ignore, man. Just mute that dude. Stephen A. Smith knows nothing about baseball from Jason Diamond. We got Dodgers top 4 batters in the lineup, went 8 for 17 with 7 RBI. Mookie, Freddie, Muncy, Martinez. That's from John Bleed in Blue over there on YouTube. Yeah, as you guys know, I mean, we've definitely been breaking down these games in depth. I think at this point, it's just kind of extracting from these games what's going to be relevant to the postseason. And I think, yeah, I would love to see this team get to 100 wins, which would be pretty incredible when you consider the fact that Dave Roberts would have 5 100-win seasons, right? if you count 2017, they went 104, right? 2019, the year they had 106. 2020, they won 43, would have absolutely won more than 100 games that year. 2021, they win 106, right? 2022, they win 111. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about a manager that would be the first of his kind having that kind of success. I don't think people want to accept this, but yeah, I was talking to someone the other day. Dave Roberts is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I mean, yeah, he really is. I mean, there's really no denying that. You can say he has the keys to a Bentley, he has the keys to a Ferrari. Well, guess what? This year, those drivers of those Ferraris, they basically just got their permits, right? A lot of rookies, right? 9 rookie debuts, a lot of young talent. Got to give them a lot of credit. D-Mac, your Bruins were not impressive today, but the Dodgers shut out the Giants, so all is well. Mr. Seabed, yeah, jeez, that was a tough watch. That was an ugly game. By the way, how are my Trojans doing? Just kidding, but I got all my fantasy people are Trojans. I got Drake London, the rest of the gang. But guys, we're going to be back with you tomorrow. Definitely hit that like button if you have not yet. Thanks for rocking with us here on a Saturday night. Thank you so much. We got He Should Be Fired, then he can go to the Hall of Fame. Swelling Sausage, the fired. That's a finish him, and a bruh. Wow, USC game a little close on BC. True. ASU will pull off the upset. Okay, you already hear first from BC. But yeah, so basically 5 things you need to know from this one. Just to tie a bow on this, little final thoughts right here. Much better showing from Clayton Kershaw tonight. He goes 5 scoreless, now 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 2 on 76 pitches. 2, JD Martinez, 5 home runs in his last 6 games. He continues to be productive. His 31st bomb of the year. I told you early in the show, I think he should be batting in the 3-hole. Also, 3, Michael Grove was very impressive tonight. Give Grover a lot of credit. I think Michael Grove was nasty at times. I think you saw that he's someone who he understands where they're at late in the game here. He knows that a lot of decisions are being made. He knows that Andrew Friedman and the brain trust of the Dodgers, they're hard at work putting together this postseason bullpen. And Michael Grove goes 2 innings, had 3 strikeouts, had 37 pitches. Also, Joe Kelly, he was very solid. Caleb Ferguson, he pitched well as well. But Dodgers, they get the dub. And the other thing you need to know, too, is they clinched that first round bye. The Dodgers' first playoff game is going to be on October 7th at Dodger Stadium. So they clinched the bye for the first round. But that's going to do it. Also, another thing, too, Clayton Kershaw, he passed Don Drysdale. 210 wins. He stands alone in second place. All that's left is a Don Sutton. So Don Sutton, do you guys think that he'll pass him? And that really would say that you think he's going to return in Dodger blue. It'll be tough the way that wins are these days, so I don't think that is something that is going to happen. 233 wins for Don Sutton. Of course, that's 16 years with the Dodgers. But he says no from Jason Diamond. SF with the giant loss tomorrow from Devil Charger. Thanks, D-Mac. Make sure to drink responsibly. Okay, Ortega, thank you for that. We got, thanks, D-Mac Russell. Yeah, but that's it for this episode, guys. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you have not yet, be sure to leave a like on your way out. It really helps out the channel. Also, be sure to subscribe to the show, subscribe to the channel, and we are hanging out with tons of giveaways coming your way, so be on the lookout for that. Diane, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Roy Estrada. Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely be here on Sunday. But thanks, guys. As always, my name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, John Bleeds in Blue brings up one more stat at the very end. Kershaw, 61 strikeouts away from 3,000. That's something that I definitely think has to be on his mind. He'll never admit it. Of course, he loves the win stat because it's a team accomplishment, really a team stat for the most part when you consider run support and everything involved with it. But yeah, 3,000 strikeouts, that would be really great for him to get to that and reach that milestone. And I would definitely love to see him back for one more year in Dodger blue, but only if he wants to and only if he can be the kind of pitcher that he wants to be. It's not a role player, right? This is an ace. This is an alpha. This is a dog. But thanks again, guys. See you next time. Appreciate it. See you later, Mr. Seabad. Buenas noches. Back to you. But thanks again, guys. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.